the mid-15th century, that is somewhere in the 1400s, the mid-1400s, 1450 upwards, there was a great agitation in Europe for them to go and explore the rest of the world. They had done well on their continent. They had come through a very bad period in the 1300s and now seem to be stable and a bit prosperous. They had developed a very good shipping industry and were very ready to flex their ships on the oceans of the world to travel and see where other people lived, or whether there were other people. The Europeans knew that there was a continent called Africa, but they had not explored all of it. But they knew about it, and they had written about it, and had explored quite a bit of it. They knew that by their projection, there was the need to go to India through another route, not by land. And so they were seeking of moving westward towards the place we now call North and South America. And in the process, they started moving. The two major countries in Europe at that time were Portugal and Spain. They were the seafarers. And they decided that they would go to look for other people to trade with them, to find out what the people had and what they could give in exchange. So they set out coming to our part of the world. Their chief expectation was that there was a lot of gold here and that they would come and find gold and mine gold. Well, they eventually made their way here in the late 1400s and started trading with us. They didn't find as much gold as they thought they were going to find. So they traded in different things. But pretty soon, we realized that although they came ready to trade with some things, we didn't really have much to trade with. So they came with guns, they came with cotton, they came with alcohol, which seems a very welcome commodity in our part of the world. If you want to make people do your wish, the easiest way is to get them boozed. So they brought in a lot of alcohol. We traded with a little bit of gold, but we didn't have well-cultivated farms. And so pretty soon we didn't have anything to trade with. And so we started trading ourselves for what they had. We started selling human beings. And we exchanged human beings for gold, for alcohol, for guns, and so on. And that interaction unleashed massive havoc on us, beginning with the slave trade, leading later to colonialism and apartheid and the subjugation of the black race. But the point is, the Europeans did not set out to come and subjugate. They came to trade. But we had nothing to trade with and sustain their trading. So we had to sell ourselves. There's a very interesting scripture in Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 10. Don't turn to it. I know you don't have Bibles here. But it's a very simple sentence you find in the many laws in the book of Deuteronomy and the Old Testament that are quite boring sometimes when you're reading them. Somewhere stuck in there is a law that says you shall not plow an ox with a donkey. If you read it in the first instance, it doesn't seem to make sense. Why should you not plow an ox and a donkey together? You have to understand the context. In those days, in agriculture, if you wanted to plow a land, you didn't use bulldozers and tractors. You use animals. And the favorite animal was the ox because it had a very strong neck. And normally you put two animals together, one ox here, another ox there, and you will yoke them. In other words, you will put a piece of wood between them, and in between that piece of wood there will be another projecting piece of wood and a metal that was stuck to the ground so that you could break the ground. So the best way to plow a land was to have two strong oxen, because they have equal strength, and their strengths help to plow the land. But if for some reason you took an ox, which is very strong neck, and a donkey, which has strength, but its strength is not in its neck, it's in its back, and you yoke the neck of a donkey with an ox, the donkey will break, the ox will break the donkey, because the ox is far stronger than the donkey. So the provision in that passage is, do not put people of unequal strength together, because one will destroy the other. Now you may wonder, where is this going in this digital revolution? When the Europeans came here, we yoked with them, but they had developed far advanced systems than we had, and the end product is we were broken. Our neck was broken. Something that was intentioned to be of value and benefit to us ended up destroying us. So I come to the current context, and I appreciate the value of technology. I'm using my phone now. I have a microphone here. Everything here is technology. I have been in my life an early adopter of technology. I started using an Apple computer in the 1980s. Yeah. We've traveled. Most times, most technologies that come out, I'm a very early adopter, and I learn very quickly and learn how to use them. Thinking about the digital revolution happening, first and foremost, this is not a technology that is controlled by Africans and was not originated by us. It has come to us. There is an inevitability with it. In other words, there's nothing we can do about it. We have to deal with it. My challenge to Kofi and Selom and all of you who are at the forefront of this is, are we going to have another yoking of an ox and a donkey in Africa, where something that supposedly is beneficial to us ends up breaking us? And that is how we should approach this future. So far, as I understand it, and I'm saying this for the benefit of those at the forefront of this technology, so far as I can see, and I can be fabulously wrong, but from my small vantage point, I have not seen the digital technology qualitatively transform anything about the core of our lives in Africa. Because much as I know how to use my iPhone and WhatsApp and Instagram and pay money and give my offering, I give all my offerings digitally and do that. Has it solved any major problem? Because the number one, well, I would say there are about 3 major problems we have that we have to solve. One is hunger. That's a problem. And what is the source? I mean, we're not producing enough for ourselves. And so no matter how much you can momo money, if it is not solving the basic problem of food production, that technology is not really affecting us positively. So has that technology, have we found a way to say, this is technology we are using to improve agriculture, and we can say that in the last 10 years, because of digital technology, food production in Ghana has increased by maybe 300%. If we cannot say that, then we are just entertaining ourselves with technology, but it is not answering our question. It may be answering Europe's questions. It may be answering China's questions, but the technology must answer our African question. And the first question is, how do we use this to solve our food problem? We have a health problem. We die unnecessarily. We die deaths that are so painful, annoying, and very disturbing to know the kinds of things that kill people. Human beings, most times in their prime. The primary reason why we die by diseases is because of unhealthy, unsanitary environment. There are exotic diseases that people have, but the fundamental ones are the communicable ones, based on mosquitoes biting us and the food we are eating. So I would want to see, if I say that a technology is benefiting Africa, not only must it give me food and make food cheap, so that the average person, Ghanaian, can go to bed every day with at least one solid meal that can keep his body actively functioning. If we can't find a way to solve that, then the digital technology can be just a nice way to stream videos and have fun, but really it is not answering your core questions. If it cannot help us to solve sanitation and health problems, then it is not solving our core problems. So much as I am excited about the prospects, I see a situation where if we are not careful, the 1400s will replay themselves. A trading arrangement that is supposed to benefit us can yoke us and unleash far more pain than what it promises to resolve. So my challenge to those at the forefront of this revolution, I appreciate all the nice things you are doing and the apps you are creating, the games you are creating, but is it solving the core problems of our continent? Food and health. Obviously, education comes in. And I know that when it comes to health, people would say, well, we are flying blood to needy areas. And it's a very important intervention, because it's sad for somebody to die simply because they didn't have blood to infuse, or the right medicine wasn't available, or the right application wasn't available. So it's a very important thing. But there are more routine problems that must be resolved. And those routine problems are the problems we must use technology to solve. We must practically solve the nurse, doctor, patient ratio. We must solve it. So I would want to see, how does this technology make it possible for us to resolve that? And I can talk about other issues. So I came here basically to let you know that something great is happening all over the world. But it's not the first time it's happened. Many times it's happened and Africa becomes the victim of it. So something grand is happening. We're seeing so many nice things happening. What the phone can do is amazing. When I was young, which was just yesterday, having a phone in your home was an achievement. The people who had phones in their home, those of us who didn't have phones, go and line up to have the chance to make a call. I made my first phone call I didn't make it, but I spoke on the phone for the first time at the age of 19. Just to tell you how far I've come. I was 19 years when I spoke into a phone for the first time. I went into somebody's office and the person gave me, he was talking to somebody I knew and says, oh, he wants to talk to you. So he gave me the phone. And I was so scared because I didn't want to make a fool of myself. I didn't know how sound was like on the phone. Would I hear? So I know that when you take it, you have to say hello. So I said hello. And the person spoke and I heard quite nicely. I was really surprised. It wasn't that difficult. And when I finished, I held the phone straight up in my hand because I didn't know what to do next. So I was just holding the phone and he says, put it down. So I put it down on the cradle. That was my first phone use. It was rich people who had phones and bosses who had phones in their office. And if you wanted to make an international call, you had to go and book your call at the post office. It was called a trunk call. And you'll be given notice as to when the call will arrive in your house. It seemed as if the call traveled. So sometimes you have to go to the post office to listen, or you have to stay by your phone. They'll tell you 7 o'clock the call will come. There was such a mystery about it. And when you started talking on the phone, you said hello, and it takes about 1 minute before the other person responds hello. So the whole call is hello, 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 hello. And your call is over. Definitely, you wouldn't call somebody who was a laborer would never have spoken in a phone. Just a few years ago, never. They would live and die without talking to a phone. Now, everybody is talking on the phone. And not only are they talking on the phone, they are taking pictures with their phone. Do you know what it meant to take pictures when I was growing up? I had an uncle who had a camera. He had a big flashlight, and those days when they take the picture, the flashlight flashes once, and the bulb is burnt, and they have to change the bulb. Yeah, Dr. Dele, that's what it was. The one flash, pew, and the bulb is gone, and they fix another bulb. And so to take about 10 pictures, you have to get about 10 bulbs. And that is why when you look at a lot of the old pictures of your parents, nobody smiled in the phone in the picture, because taking a picture was very serious business. Your life is being captured. So you stand very seriously, intently looking at the camera, making sure nothing goes wrong. But these days, people take pictures, and sometimes even silly pictures of themselves, and post it wherever. We play games. We send messages, instant messages. Not too long ago, if you had to send an instant message, it was by telegram. And if you wanted to send a message by telegram, it was very short, because telegrams were not long. Please stop. Come quickly, stop. Money finished, stop. That's the telegram. No, normally those days, if you received a telegram, it meant somebody was dead. These days, we've gone beyond telegram. You WhatsApp instantly with people all over the world. Question: how has all this technology cumulatively solved any problem in Africa? Yeah, we have fun with it. We are laughing in it. We're joking, but in terms of the core problems we have, I cannot say that this digital revolution has favored us. We have become consumers of products instead of users to solve our problem. So my challenge to those who are in this industry: let's fix our problems with this technology. And for those of you young people, you are holding in your hand a very formidable tool. Very formidable. The average phone that you and I use has far more processing power than the system that was used to send the first man to the moon in 1969. This phone is very powerful. So yes, there is a digital revolution, but where is Africa in it? And where is its future? So my challenge to the young people who are gathered here: it's not fun. It's not just about laughing and smiling in your camera. It's not just about being able to converse and chat with people. It is about how to take this tool and apply it to the real issues Africa is faced with. Farming, agriculture. For me, no matter what we do in this country, no matter how many roads we put up, no matter what we do, if we don't have enough food to feed the average person so that he can live on his salary, no matter his station in life, he can live on his salary. If a person earns 180 cedis a month, that means that we should be able to have a food package per meal that is heavy enough for 1 cedi. And I'm not talking about government reducing prices. I'm talking about we producing at such a level that we can sell at that price. And by the way, when I say a 1 cedi meal, we have to understand that the young people are extremely voracious when it comes to food. So you can't give them an anemic ball of kinky and tell them that it's 1 cedi. It has to be hefty enough and significantly proportioned with equal amount of protein. And if we want to punish yourself with pepper, you can do that. But we have to be able to come to the point of saying, this is the staple average meal of a Ghanaian, and a Ghanaian, every Ghanaian who works should be able to afford this and not break his neck. That is where I believe the technology should be going. And I applaud all those who are doing all the other things that are not in the food category. I appreciate that. And I'm not saying everybody should do that. But what I'm saying is, if we do all of that and we don't solve the core problems we have, this technology will end up enslaving us again. And this time, we may not be able to get ourselves free. We will become hewers of wood and drawers of water for the peoples of the world, because they came to trade with us and we were not ready to trade with them. And we sold ourselves whilst they sold their tools and their products. It is my hope that in a forum like this, we will be able to address this. For the young people, I have great hope in you. You are phenomenal people. You are very passionate. It wasn't long that I was like you. But one of the things I've learned about life is that life moves very, very fast. One day, before you say, you'll be 40 years. And then before you say, you are 60. Then you are on retirement, going to Social Security for pension. It moves very fast. There are important decisions you have to make them very strongly. Don't joke with time and opportunity. Don't joke with your life. Don't misapply the things that you have. Take life very seriously, because life is World Cup. Life is World Cup. One of the things I learned very early in life as a young man, take life very seriously. When I was young, I didn't smile much, because life was very serious. Very, very serious. I occupied my mind with very serious readings and focused on serious issues of life. You are not too young to think about the future of your continent and your country and how to make it better for yourself and for the generation after you. May God bless us all, and may God give us the courage to build a great continent. God bless you.
Thank you for watching this video. We believe you have been touched by this message. If you have any comments on this video, kindly leave it in the comment section. If you have any enquiries or testimonies, you can also leave it in the comment section. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, kindly do so and turn on your notification bell. And if you enjoyed today's message, kindly like and share with others. Thank you, and see you in the next video.
Jesus,